Good, good morning, and probably good evening to some of y'all here on Speedgaming. We are getting ready to bring you another matchup in our Metroid Fusion Any Percent Tournament 2023. We are in the second round of the lower bracket here, bringing you a matchup between Pinecone 606 and CaioXG002. Runners are readied up, so we're going to go ahead and drop the gate here, and we will be ready to go in just under a minute here.
Alright, sounds good.
Also, where are my manners here? I'm also being joined in the booth by Ryan Ford.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Oh, I have this on the wrong window. One moment.
We have all been there. Gotta love some Metroid Fusion to start out the work week.
Yup. Yeah, so I know people aren't too crazy about Mondays, but hey, get to enjoy with the with the Fusion race. For those that may be working at home as well, I advise you to take a long lunch and watch as the races start off.
Absolutely, and we are getting ready, just mashing through the opening text. We have the 14 versus 17 seed matchup. Winner of this matchup will move on to the round 3 matchup to play against the number 4 seed in FPIS. And we are very close to synchronized up this initial climb. Huge reset point for runners of the game, because you can shave off a few frames in that room and you will absolutely throw yourself at it for a half hour to do so.
It's true. Yeah, I try so hard not to reset, but sometimes that room is such a disaster. I'm like, all right, whatever. It's the start of the run. Let me just try again.
Our runners through the first dialogue with Adam. Since we are running any percent today, we are going to be hearing a lot of Adam, because unfortunately, this game, we don't have an Adam skip yet.
Yep.
I mean, I guess technically we have a memory corruption category, but we're not running that today, and our runners would need to be on the North American release. We, of course, run on JP because that is much faster as far as tech smashing goes.
Yep. Right, I forgot that, that was English only for memory corruption.
And being in a tournament race, it'll be interesting to see, since we have any percent. Our runners can pick up as much or as little as they want, so it'll be a question to see how much safety we see people taking versus how much they are trying to go fast and keep their tournament lives alive.
Yeah, because there could be a variance on how many E-tanks they get, and probably total missiles. I'm gonna assume for missiles somewhere between 40 and 55, and then for E-tanks I'm gonna assume somewhere between 1 and like 5 probably, but we'll see. Maybe they might go safer, even safer than those.
Yeah, and just getting up to the part of the climb to get up to the operations deck. Caio with about a half a room lead here.
Yeah.
As Samus has the revelation that this computer kind of reminds her of her old CO Adam. I'm sure that won't be relevant though.
Yeah, Samus always wasting time talking to this guy named Adam. Jeez. Yeah, I think Caio's ahead like 4 seconds-ish, roughly. Looking at the screens.
Yeah, that looks about right. And picking up the missiles as the first item, immediately the power is going to go out.
Yep. I'm not sure if it's pixels in Caio's cam or if his hair is just like flowing from like a fan, like blowing in his face or something. I'm not too sure. I don't know why. I had to point it out.
You know, that is a really good question.
It's either the cam quality or there's a fan. But anyway, there's finally some action after all the text and collecting the missiles and stuff.
Yeah, Caio picking up a nice wall jump just for a bit of swag on the way down, going through the Maintenance ductwork here, gonna pick up some missiles and fight everyone's favorite roly boy Arachnus.
Yep.
The first couple RNG gauntlets of the game with that and a door to get there.
Yeah.
Now, at this point in the run, our eye doors are going to take 3 missiles to hit. It is possible to hit 2 at one time and skip a cycle. We hope to see it because each time it throws a beam, it costs, I believe, 3 seconds.
Yeah, there's like a bit of range because the amount of time it takes for the eye to open is also random. And yeah, pinecone has the lead now. I was only looking at Kyle's side before, and so I didn't even see how it went for pinecone.
Yeah, I missed the count on how many, but it looks like we are going to get traditional fights against Arachnus here. 150 health, and pinecone getting a roll, Caio not, so Caio getting back ahead, missing a double there. And
yeah, good thing he didn't run out of ammo, at least, if anything.
Absolutely. You never want to run out of ammo because then you have to farm to hopefully get a green X drop, and the game never wants to give you those when you want to unless you have full health.
Yeah,
Caio first out of the room with the morph ball, and pinecone is going to be trailing not far behind.
Yep. Yeah, Kyle, the whole room ahead. This room is kind of long though, so it's actually kind of a bigger lead than it looks.
Yeah, Metroid Fusion, for how simple the movement mechanics are, does have quite a variety of ways that you can expressively move through the rooms.
Yep.
As you get good, we'll start to see people will use shots to snap them to the ground a little bit faster. We'll see just a little bit of extra movement with getting some wall jumps and various things that just give our runners tools to get through. Caio going for a safety, picking up an extra 5 missiles going into Sector 1. I like to see that in a tournament race. Missile management, very important early, and Sector 1 can go really slow if you run out.
Yeah, and you can afford it. It's like probably about a 10-second lead if I were to guess. So, which I think it might be slightly more now because saw some slightly scuffed movement from pinecone a bit. Okay, yeah, I just looked at the elevator. It's like 11 seconds now.
Yeah, still definitely plenty of time that this race could go either way.
Yeah, it's definitely like the start of the run, and there's so much run to go, so for sure.
And here we introduce the SAX.
Is that another Samus?
Sure looks like it. You know, if you've ever played that game Super Metroid, I'm not sure if anyone's heard of it. That enemy kind of looks like the person you play in that game.
Right. Kind of just finished learning Hundo for that game, so
nice.
Running it soon.
Definitely some different tech there than in here.
Yeah, game's impossible. Okay, not actually, but I feel like both games are tough for different reasons. So.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I've at least done a little bit of Super Metroid running. Nothing formal, but very different in terms of momentum carrying here. But we're here to talk about Metroid Fusion today. Adam telling us that the environmental stabilizers are all sorts of messed up here. We're going to have to fix 5 of them, and we will fix those with explosives. Because missiles, you know, that's how I fix my faulty HVAC equipment.
Faulty HVAC equipment. Exactly.
Caio picking up a second energy tank in the Hornode hole.
Yeah,
and
I usually grab that one too. But...
yeah, it's definitely a good idea to pick that one up until you are going for top times, just because it doesn't cost you a lot of time here. Unless you get trolled by the enemies like pinecone did there a little bit.
Yeah, they just like crowded up the exit. And yeah, you really want to be at full health because of like ammo management too, and like getting green X drops.
Yeah, each of these stabilizers is going to take 3 missiles to fix. And if you're at full health, you're guaranteed that all of your drops are going to be green X. If not, the first one from the kill is always going to be at green. But any of the ones after that, I believe it's 20% to get a green, 80% to get a yellow.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you take a hit, that's less ammo going in your pocket.
Yeah, like more often than not. Could still
Clean
get lucky,
stabilizer
but
3.
yep. Huh, fortunately, grabbing that ledge didn't really waste time for Kyle. So he should have enough ammo for this climb if he doesn't mess up too much. Oh, commentator's curse. Wait. Wait. Alright, well. He's got exactly enough ammo for the idol now.
You know,
But,
sometimes you just have to commentators curse the runners just to make things a little more interesting here.
Oh
And
my gosh.
Pinecone opting to weave through the room to pick up a couple of extra drops here. And just, again, about a room and a half lead here. We're coming up on our second door, and the last one that we have to worry about landing 3 hits. Looks like Caio not going for doubles. I like the call. When you come in here with only 3 missiles, it's easy to tink a double. And if you don't get all 3 shots, you have to leave the room and refill, and it also resets the door's health. Pinecone coming in with 5, also just going for singles. Oh, Caio, a little bit early with that.
Yeah,
The
it's
charge
just
beam
tough.
core you have to shoot in the eye.
Yeah,
And there is a charge beam.
He killed it like all the way across the room too, so it took a while to fly back to the middle too.
Yeah, one thing that our runners will try to do against these core X here, which are how we pick up our power-ups, is there's a sweet spot where they go to for you to be able to pick up the item. And you want to get rid of the core X as close as possible to that, or with a couple pieces of invisible geometry, so that it will immediately become able to be picked up instead of having to wait for it to move to the location.
Yeah. So when it moves to the spot, if you don't get the sweet spot, it'll like be intangible for a bit while hovering on the spot too, so it kind of wastes time.
Looks like Caio running into a gate there. You need to shoot those gates before they'll let you through.
Turning
And
into the
Pinecone
Blanca
showing off a
Master.
strat where you damage boost into the stabilizer hitbox in order to try to let loose a charge beam shot.
Yeah.
So the charge beam has 2 particles, each of those does 10 damage, and the charged flare does 6. So if you hit all 3 of those, the stabilizer has 25 damage, so you can one-shot it.
Yeah. It's 26 and it's 25 HP. And then same with the eye doors coming up, so be able to one-shot them instead of taking 3 missiles to kill them now.
Both of our runners remembering to take the detour to clear out stabilizer number 5. The game expects you to do this 1 second, but it's faster to do it on the way out when you have charge beam, so we save this one for last.
Yeah, exactly. There is a bit
One
of
of
piece
the
of
rare
tech
sequence breaks in Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, there's so little, right, in this game. Gee, are there any more sequence breaks? Like,
I don't think so. I've never actually thought of that one as a sequence break until just now, so.
yeah, it's like kind of, right? Yeah,
You
because
know,
game's
we'll
pretty
take whatever
like
we can get
linear.
here in Fusion.
Exactly. Yeah, because there's like hard flags that you have to like trigger, so game is like fairly linear, even casually.
The first out of Sector 1. Meanwhile, Pinecone going to talk to Adam again.
Yep.
And while we are getting ready and going through a lot of exposition here, going out of Sector 1 and into Sector 2, I'm just going to tell everyone here, go ahead and give our runners a follow.
Yep.
Oh, it looks like
Pinecone.
that was just posted in chat. The bot doesn't like me today.
Oh my gosh. Pinecone like ran like under the elevator instead of going onto it.
I think we've all done that once or twice. I know I have.
The rite of passage. I love that for speedrunning for with like decent sized communities is like usually this like there's some kind of like rite of passage thing that like everybody has to mess up kind of thing at some point.
Linkshot in chat pointing out the sequence quote-unquote break in the game where you actually use a Shine Spark carry to get the diffusion missiles early. That there's actually a secret cutscene if you can do it.
Oh yeah.
And it just
it's hard too.
really hard to do, and it just kind of yells at you for it and tells you to go get the diffusions anyway if you try to leave the sector without it. But we are in Sector 2, Caio opening up blue doors.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Pinecone hearing that, well, you can go get your bombs in this data room. However, it's locked behind doors, and our map's not going to tell you where it is. Fortunately, we've played this game enough times that we know where that lock is.
Yep. Level 1 security. Oh, I think for Pinecone, the caterpillar things are going to be in the way. Oh, never mind. He actually had one moving downwards, but...
Yeah.
Okay. He slowed down to kill one. So...
And then running into a Zoro, everything in Sector 2 hits like a truck. That room looks deceptively easy in that you go through it, and you can shoot a charge shot at one of the Zoros and 2 missiles at the other. If you hit it, you just run through without slowing down. If you miss it, you take 45 damage.
Yeah, exactly. They hit hard. Yeah, fortunately they both have 2 E-tanks, so like does provide some extra safety.
And now that we have bombs, the door was destroyed behind us by the SAX, so we're going to have to find another way around, and the map doesn't show anything else to Sector 2, but we're going to go into uncharted territory.
Yep.
So Caio extending a little bit more of a lead over Pinecone here, but still anyone's race.
Yep. So you might occasionally see when dropping down while morphed that they'll like unmorph and then morph again before landing, so you don't get the little bounce as a ball.
Yeah, and to avoid the bounce, you need to remorph within 2 tiles of the ground. Otherwise, you get a little bounce and it kills some time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, soft morphing.
And the movement in all of these rooms a little bit variable, as enemies will be in different places, or in a couple of different places and can go a couple different ways. Caio getting a nice wall jump off of the wall to hop over a couple of those pancakes.
Yep. Alright, taking the next room safe, killing the Zoro, because you could get hit if you like scuff your movement.
Yeah, and Sector 2, incredibly easy to die in, so definitely like seeing some safety here in a race situation, because slowing down to not die is a lot faster than if you take a death.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, another
Caio picking up some extra energy, and now we can one-shot the Ghidorah, not even waiting for the refill, having 21 missiles.
Yep, 0 beams.
You love to see it.
It's like 50% to get whether it'll shoot a beam or not every time it opens its eye. And then, what, a limit of 4 times per cycle? So.
Yeah. And now we're on Zazabi, which can give anywhere between 5 and 12 jumps with the optimal number of cycles, so just complete RNG. Each of the between phases here will have a different number of those. You'll see a charge shot and a missile. That's because you need 2 hits, doesn't matter what the hits are, to progress to the next phase, and then 4 at the end. The charge shot can get both of them. It looks like Caio getting a double there on that second shot.
Yep.
And getting rewarded with his high jump. And the missile is just a safety to make sure that you get both hits on there, because you don't want to add an extra cycle of Zazabi.
Yeah, exactly. It wastes so much time.
This boss knows, and it likes to throw an extra 5 jumps at you if you get an extra cycle on there.
Right? Yeah, Caio's RNG was really good as well for the jumps.
Now we're going to head into our first actual SAX encounter, and we'll see if Caio is going to go for any sort of skip. So it's faster to be noticed by the SAX and get out of it if you do a precision morph ball jump over it and then jump over a shot. The downside is it can hit you, it has ice beam, and you will be frozen and very likely killed. Caio just waiting for the SAX to leave the room before heading out and ascending Green Tower.
Yeah, he has enough. He had enough energy that he could go for the Hundo strat for sack skip, since he picked up extra for the 3 extra E-tanks as well.
Yeah, and the hundo strat
so
is you just let the SAX freeze you, shoot you with a missile, and that deboosts you to the other side of it and you run out of the room. Still a little bit of risk because if your positioning is wrong, it will be able to hit you again before you get out of the room. And I learned that the hard way.
Oh my goodness.
When I was
Yeah.
first doing hundo runs in this game, I had, I think, 3 runs in a row die there, and I was like, I didn't even know you could do this. Caio talking to Adam as Pinecone going to get her first SAX encounter.
So Pineco. Okay, going for the hundo strat. Took a little bit of time, but got it pretty clean.
Yeah, she waited for that, and I think that was to just add a little bit of extra safety, have less distance that the SAX has a chance to get a second shot. I like the play.
Okay, that makes sense.
Probably still saved a second or two over just waiting for it to go. And now we're going to get Caio going into the water level, Sector 4. All of the water is going to be electrified.
Yeah, Pineco having a little bit of trouble getting up there, but got it. Oh my gosh, we're going left. Sector 4.
Yeah, everything is going to be all left here.
It's too weird for me. My platformers always go to the right. Come on. I'm just kidding.
And Sector 4 has some really interesting movement options. It looks like Caio wanting to go a little bit safe,
I think that was an
taking a
accident.
refill.
It's like his head jerked in the cam, so I'm like, I think he thought that he was one room ahead and tried to like jump across the gap, and then he happened to like land on the refill.
Yeah, that definitely easy to happen here. Beautiful work on those crabs there, shooting a missile to get the other one. There is a strat where you shoot a missile as you're dropping down there to open the door and save a couple frames.
Yeah,
and
it makes
almost
it easier
forgetting
to set up the door fix after.
Almost forgetting to break these bomb blocks going into the spicy water.
Yup. Good thing you had a lot of health.
And now let's see what kind of ouch RNG we get.
Oh, this ouches. Oh, right in across the top. That's a little bit of a problem. Yeah,
and not where you want to see it, but getting through there and having plenty of health to get through here safely. Pinecone going for some jump extents, not quite getting enough distance, so shooting to interrupt your spin jump will temporarily kill Samus's momentum in the air, and you can use that to get just a little bit of extra distance on your jumps.
Yeah, exactly. You can like, yeah, shoot to break spin, then respin.
Caio coming up against another eye door. There are two beams. Two beams going into arguably the best boss in the game, Saris.
Alright, get your cat jams or rat jams or whatever ready. Because it's white.
Absolutely.
Oh, you didn't
Caio a little bit late there, not getting the shot off, so Saris has 50 health. Ideally, you want to hit with both of the particles of the shot and the charge flare so that you can take it out in 2 shots, but it looks like Caio just getting 1 hit. There's a second.
Oh god, I think he hit with only the flare both times too, so...
There are a couple of movement patterns here. You can anticipate some of them are just completely random. So this fight...
he's gonna bleed a lot of time because he didn't hit up close with that charge shot too, so he might have to do 2 cycles still. Or 3, maybe.
Yeah. Looks like we're gonna get all 5. This fight can really get away from you if you're not
This is a concern too.
on top of getting the 2 shot.
Yep. Okay, 4. Yeah, I mean, at least he didn't get knocked into the water at any point, but, okay, yeah, a little late starting his doubles again, too, so... This might be 5. Okay, I lied, 4.
Yeah, nice double to close it out in the sweet spot there. Looks
Yep.
like pinecone also missing the quick kill here.
Yep.
So whenever you see the large arc where Saris goes high up in the room, that one you don't know how it'll be followed up. The other two patterns, when it does the zigzag or goes straight across, you know where it'll go after that.
Yep. Unfortunately for pinecone, because she killed Saris like right in the center of that platform, so it's like hard to get a double on that first, on the core X's first appearance.
Yeah, definitely a little bit cleaner of a fight though, making up a little bit of time, but Kaio's still with the lead. Pinecone picking up her speed booster. And now we'll see going back through Sector 4 as now we have to go lower the water level, and we couldn't do that before because for some reason they put the pump control behind a speed booster wall.
Yep.
If you give any thought to the layout of the space station when you play through this game, you're like, what were people actually doing here?
Yeah, how did the regular people get through some of these rooms?
And Sector 4, the real question is, there is a low height swag spark to make the escape from Sector 4, and let's see if either of our runners get it. Kaio getting it. So if you just shine spark right from the ground, you end up bonking on a platform, but if you go while you're falling, you can get a little bit lower, and if you're just a pixel above the ground, you make it under all of the ceilings, and you get to go fast.
Yep. Sam is too tall to just take the stairs in the background. True. Yeah, I guess because Samus only moves in 2 dimensions, so the regular people probably like use the background.
You know, that is a fair point. Pinecone getting a bit of a bounce here. Gonna have to run out.
Alright, one thing I gotta nitpick at